What's up, YouTube? So, looks like today is going to be a hi-hat day. Now, these are pretty cool. I like them. You know, they're really easy to install. But day 2, hi-hats. As I said before, today we are going to be putting in hi-hats, starting with the center there. So I'm going to run you guys through this whole process because this part right here is one of the most important parts. We're going to have to open up this ceiling a little bit to move the hi-hat over to be in the center of the room, just because there happens to be a joist right there inside that hole, so we cannot put this particular hi-hat there. So when we get back, I'll show you guys just how we're going to do that and put the rest of the hi-hats. Alright, YouTube, we're back. So today we are going to be installing this hi-hat in the ceiling. Now, first things first is, let me get you guys to understand something. Electricity is not a joke, so do not play with it. I know that it's only 110, but again, you don't want to get buzzed too many times by this electricity. The other thing is, when you're working on a ladder, you're working on with live electrical wires or not. What I would say is, guys, turn your power off. Don't work with live wire. That's my suggestion. For your own health, make sure you follow it. Now, we're going to be installing these hi-hats. They're 3-inch. Now, what I discovered was, once you go ahead and once I went ahead and opened up this ceiling, and there was a light fixture here at the time, now I have a joist right there, right in the way. So there's really no way of me putting this in there, because when it goes in, it's just going to hit the joist. So now I have to open this up a little bit so that I can fit this in, which means now I have to repair a ceiling. So this is one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you're remodeling a home, is that whatever is behind the walls, you have no clue. And when you open up that wall, you can run into all kinds of mess. But it happens. We're going to just face it and we're going to take care of it, and it's going to come out beautiful. You'll see. So let's get started. First things first is opening up the ceiling. Now these wires, they're not live. I've turned them off, so it's safe to use, and I can just move them out the way and cut open that ceiling a little bit. Take a look. Don't forget, guys, when you're working on the ceiling, make sure you have your eyes protected at all times. All right, so let's open this up a little bit, see what we got here. We're definitely dealing with sheetrock, but as you can see, my eyes are still open. I can see what I'm doing, but it all fell on my face. All right, so I want you guys to take a look at this. I'm going to show you guys exactly what's going on. Here I am. I'm trying to open up this ceiling, and you can see right there, all right, I have a piece of wood that's stopping me. So what they did was they covered up a plastered ceiling with looks like 1x2, as sort of like building a wall on a ceiling, and then they put up sheetrock on top of it. Now, in order to get around that, I have to actually cut out that piece of wood that's right there. Be careful with the cabling, and then also the slats that are there, cut that out of the way as well. As you can see, that darker beam there, that is the actual rafter. So I have to go this way, a little towards the cable, open that up in order for me to be able to attach the hi-hat in place. Just wanted to show you guys what we're going through. So there's a way of fixing it, so it's not the end of the world, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm going to do. Alright guys, so typically I wouldn't use a jigsaw to open up this hole, but it's not a bad idea. It's got a small blade, small teeth for a small job. I could use a Sawzall with small blade as well. Problem with a Sawzall is there is wiring here, and the risk factor of hitting those wires is there. Same with this, but I have a little more control with this. The reciprocating saw is really kicks back a lot, so I would suggest this. Or if you feel more comfortable with a receptacle or a Sawzall for that matter, go ahead and use it. This here can make quick work of this. So let's gear up, put our gloves on. Let's do it. So as you can see, the hole is definitely a little bit wider now. And we are going to see what we can do with some of these slats in here. A very important thing to keep in mind is when you buy these hi-hats, you want to make sure that they are rated to be either next to insulation that may be in your ceiling, or either next to it, or they may have to be anywhere from 6 inches to 1 foot apart from any insulation, just because this heats up and can potentially cause a fire. So make sure when you're buying hats, hi-hats, or recessed lighting as they call it, make sure you check the rating, that that you're able to use them either near or right on top of insulation. Keep an eye out for that. Now, very simple. These things just go by the color code. You got green, black, white. Same thing here. Your bare wire. The bare wire is going to be your green, and then you have your white and your black. Very simple. Now, when I opened this up, 2 wires were together already, a white and a black, coming off of 2 different cables. That's just to complete a circuit. So we're just going to reestablish that first. Tie in a white and black here with a wire nut. Tuck it away inside this little chamber. Put this in the ceiling. Then we're going to test it. Once we test it and we know that it's functioning, we'll go ahead and we'll repair the wall. And that's it. We'll be good to go. Now, always keep something in mind whenever you're dealing with electrical. Even if it's off, you just never know. Make sure that you're using insulated tools. This here is what they call a lineman. It's for high voltage. I like to use them only because they get the job done pretty quick. But you can also use some needle nose, as you can see, these needle nose, and they're well insulated as well. So the handles will protect you from any electrical shock. Alright, so I'm probably going to get some crap for this, but you know, I shouldn't be using this to strip away the jacket from the actual cable. You know, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm used to it. I can do it. I really shouldn't. What you should be using is some wire strippers, and those wire strippers have the exact gauge that you're dealing with. It'll strip off the jacket without damaging the copper. I can do it. I've gotten to that point where I can strip it off without damaging the copper. I wouldn't suggest anybody who's doing it new try that, because once you damage the copper, you kind of like mess up the integrity of the actual cable itself. So if you can avoid it, I would definitely suggest not using this. But if you've been doing it for a long time, hey, have fun. Just be careful. Now, what I like to do is give it a little test run. So I've already installed the bulb. I have my wires exposed. I just want to go ahead and touch them with these wires here, the white and the black, match them up, and let's just make sure that this light turns on. And there we go. We got light. So now I'm just going to tie them in, button this up, and we're good to go. Make sure you always keep some wire nuts on you. Definitely need them. Now I'm going to get some tape, because I like to give it a little bit of a black tape around each wire nut, just to ensure that if it was to come loose in the ceiling, which most of the time it won't, but you just never know, or spark, we can reduce that potential by giving it a little bit of a wrap with some black tape. It'd be nice if I actually put it through the hole first.
Giggity.
We're going to turn this off, and when I come back, we'll stick it in the ceiling, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so it's in place. I want to show you guys. There we go. And it looks great. So, now, I know you guys are looking at that big hole and thinking, how in the world is he going to fix that? Don't worry, you'll see. I'm going to show you guys right now. 1 second, I'll be right back. Well, essentially, you're just covering up the hole that's there, or part of the hole, with a piece of sheetrock that's backed by a piece of wood, and then you add your tape, spackle. But what you want to do is leave the light off for now, so that this can get a chance to dry. And then once it's dry, you can sand it down, get it nice and smooth. Actually paint the ceiling first, if that's what you're going to do, and then go ahead and put the light back, make sure it's functioning, and you should be good to go. So let's just finish this up. I'll show you the final product when we're done. Alright, so now you can see where we are with this right now. So we went around the whole circle, and it's currently just going to have to dry, and then once it's done, we'll give it a little bit of sanding, give it another coat, and then we'll stick that recessed light right back in there, and it'll look like nothing ever happened.
The next day.
So we've already completed the hi-hat in the ceiling for this room project. As you can see, we fixed a little hole in the wall that was damaged. Now we're going to continue with putting in the rest of the hi-hats in the ceiling. And so I'm going to show you guys a little trick to this, because this is the second floor and the attic above has pretty much nothing there. It's like open space except for wood sheets that are covering the joists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually measure where I want the hi-hat to be, and then I'm going to take a long drill bit. As a matter of fact, I'll show you guys. It's like a 1-inch drill bit, and we're going to drill right through, all the way through, and then when I go up to the attic, I'll see exactly where my holes are. one or two things can be done. We can take the sheet of plywood off, or we can actually cut around there and then make the hole from the top. And that's going to cause less damage to the ceiling right here, and then I'll know exactly where my hat is going to be at, just to avoid any potential joists or any wiring that may already be pre-existing there. So it's just another way of doing it, but I'll show you guys just exactly how I do it, and hopefully it works for you. So we've already pre-measured where we're going to put it. So I measured off 2 feet from this wall, coming this way, and then 2 feet from this wall this way, and meet right in the center. So that is a mark right here. What you can do is go to your desired mark, use the edge of your tape, and just score the ceiling just like this. And you do the same thing here. 2 feet, score the ceiling, and now you'll have a perfect X right there, and that's your center point. 2 feet from here, 2 feet from here. Let's start our pilot hole, which we're going to use right here, and make it work. Now, periodically, what you want to do is take a look, make sure that you're not coming in contact with anything that could be a potential issue. Okay, looks like there's a joist here. Good thing, all right? So the joist is on the right side of this hole, so now I can move over a little bit more, and I know that this is an empty cavity right here. So that's an easy fix. So remember, this is the way to do it. I'm going to measure this now where I'm going to go, so that I can do the same in all 4 corners, and we'll be good to go. Keep you guys updated, and we're going to see, I'm going to show you guys the rest of this as we continue. So it's got a bunch of teeth around it here, and what it's going to do is going to go right into the ceiling, right through any wood or anything like that, and actually give me the hole that I need to fit the hi-hat itself. So we're going to start using this. Before I was using it just a drill bit, just to pilot hole it and get it ready. You know what, this is a lot better. So just as an advice, instead of going through all that, just get yourself the 3-inch or the 4-inch or whatever the size of the hat that you're putting in. Get the drill bit and make the hole, and you're way better off. Okay, all right, YouTube, so this is what you're gonna see. I have here the hole that's already made. I used the bit that's necessary for this 3-inch hat, and so I'm gonna show you what it looks like inside, and then we're gonna actually insert this, and just so you can see just how easy it is to install one of these hi-hats. So this is what the hole looks like. I don't know if you guys can actually see a good look at it, but it's completely empty. Okay, so what you want to be aware of is any insulation that's in here. You can move that out of the way if need be. Remember that if this hi-hat is not rated to be on top of insulation or near it, you want to get rid of that. All right, so let's go ahead and put it in. I'm going to show you guys just how simple this is. You just, once you wire it up, you're going to put it inside, push it in, and voila. We have a little plastic covering here just to protect it while we're working in the room, but that's how easy it is. And as you can see, we have a lip around here that's gonna, cover any imperfections in the ceiling, but this is the way to do it. So now we can just pull it down, because I still have to wire it, but it's relatively simple. And at the same time, when it comes to changing out the bulbs, it'll be just that easy. So let's just pull it down, pull it out. All right, and that's it. That's how you install a hi-hat. I'm going to continue with renovations of this room, and hopefully you guys find something that works for you, and we'll be back. You'll see the actual finished product when we're all done. All right, all 4 holes are done. Woo! Believe me guys, you're gonna wanna wear these safety glasses when you're doing this. But all 4 holes are ready to go. Now I'm gonna be running the electrical. I'll show you the finished product. So what's up, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube family? So listen, we're still working on the lights, as you can see, but just so you guys get an idea of how we're doing this, we have to fish these wires through. And the reason why I call it fishing is because we use this tool here, which is called a fish tape, and we run it through the cavity, or you want to call it the bay, or you can call it right in the ceiling through the rafters, or underneath the rafters, however which way you want to call it. The point here is that there is an empty space in the ceiling between what we call joists, or in some cases rafters. In this case, we're running this fish tape right through the joists, all right, and it's a cavity, and we already attached, as you can see, the blue tape that's over there to our electrical wire. So I'm going to just now pull on this side and get that wire on this side. I'll show you guys how that's done. And there you go. So the purpose of doing this obviously is to avoid having to bring down the whole ceiling or break this whole cavity open and have to go through the process of sheetrock and spackle and trying to make this ceiling as perfect as possible. In most cases, you're going to see some type of blemish in the ceiling, whether it be through the spackling process or after the paint is done. You may see some kind of little wave or hump. Sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes what you really want to do to avoid all of this is just take down the whole ceiling, run your hi-hats, and then put your ceiling back up. That's also something you can do as well. But this, in some cases, is the easiest way to go. Get yourself some fish tape, run it through the ceiling, you pop the holes that are going to be made for the actual lighting, run it through, run your wire, terminate, and you're good to go. So let's finish up. I actually had to go in the other direction because for some reason it just wouldn't come through the other way. So now we're going to pull it through. Make sure you wear something on your eyes. Here we go. You see it's coming up. And ta-da! We made it. So I'm gonna cut this off, terminate it, and get it ready to connect with our hi-hat. Got the wiring in place, and we are going to now be connecting this hi-hat with these 2 wires. Now, what I want you guys to take a look at is, as you can see, this here has what's called a knockout. Looks like this. Took this out. Now what you want to be careful with though is this edge. The edge on this is really sharp. So when you're putting your wiring through, you can score or you can cut into the jacket, and that could cause a problem. So it can energize this whole thing, cause shorting, all kinds of issues, and you're going to have a problem with that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set it to where we want to have it with a little bit of slack to it so we can tuck it back into the ceiling. Then we're going to take some black tape and we're going to go ahead and we're going to tape the actual wiring together, keep it together, and we're going to give it a little bit of a tape around here to protect it. Now this does come, or you can get some grommets for that, rubber grommets or plastic grommets to kind of protect it. But what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of tape right around, as you can see, the edge. All we want to do is make sure that the cable doesn't get destroyed by the actual hole here. It is a very thin metal and it can cut it up pretty good, so you want to avoid that. So this is just a little trick that you can use instead of going out and buying the grommets for it. But if you want to, you can go ahead and buy the grommets, or you can actually black tape the cable itself, and once it goes in there, it'll give another bit of protection. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So one of them, I'm just gonna hang it up like that so that can kind of hang a bit. Cut off the excess. Don't need that. Right here, same thing. Cut off the excess. Gone. Keep in mind, very simple. You have a black and a white, okay? And you have a ground, green. It's always gonna be for the bare wire that's inside of this jacket, which I'm gonna show you now. Remember, once it's in, it's in. I mean, once you put it into the ceiling, that's it. It's in the ceiling, it's good to go. You test it out and make sure that it's not sparking or anything like that, obviously, before you tuck it in the ceiling. But once it's in the ceiling, just, this is something that you do just for peace of mind, because anything can happen in the ceiling, just don't know. That's why I say make sure that you have the right rated ones, hi-hats for your installation, because when you put it in there, you're going to be near insulation that's in there, and you want to make sure that this doesn't get too hot, or that's rated for the correct heat, so you're not causing any potential fires. Just so you guys can see, I want you guys to pay attention to this. Very important. You cannot mess this up, okay? It's very easy. All you're going to do is match up your colors. All three wires that are here have the same colors. We have white with white, black with black, and all of the bare cables or bare conductors without a jacket are going to actually, as you can see, all of the cables with a bare conductor are going to go to the green. That's your ground. So white, black, green with bare, and you're all done. And I'll show you the finished product once we finish up. Okay, so here we go. We're all done. All the whites are connected. Black to black, white to white, and green to bare wire. Boom, you have yourself a completed job. So now we can tuck these wires in real nice. Now typically what I'll do is I'll wrap each one of these with black tape and then put them in. So I'll show you how that's gonna look now. There you go. Wired up, and we have the black tape on it. So let's tuck those in. I like to separate them a little bit. Okay, the lid in place, very nice. Tuck these in. And there you go. That is in. Let's adjust this a little bit more so that it sits a little better. All right, so as you can see, we're all in. Just had to adjust it a little bit, kind of wipe off the ceiling, but it's gonna look even better in a minute, because we're gonna paint the whole ceiling, then we're gonna reattach the hi-hats, and it should be good. So we'll see the finished product, but at least you know how this one goes in, so you can do the rest the same way, and I'll show you the end result. All right, so just so you guys know, we just got the lighting done, and I wanted to go show you guys just exactly how it came out. Everything is still being worked on as far as the painting and the sanding that needs to be done on the ceiling, but for now, at least you guys can see how the lights look. We did install the dimmer, so I'll let you guys take a look at that, and also at the ceiling, and you can see how the lights turn on. All right, let's take a look. So right here you can see we got the lighting all set up, and right above is light number 1, 2, 3 in the corner, 4, and 5 in this corner. And as you can see, like I said, we have some ceiling fixing to do, but all in all, this is just so you guys can see exactly how it came out. And I'm going to dim them on. Maybe we can take a look. And there you go. All lights are on and functioning. So it was a little bit of a project, but we got the best of it done, and hope you guys like the project. There's more to come. Remember, this is a room remodel, so we're going to be doing the floors, we're going to be doing the molding, but the lights are done. And if you have any questions, whatever you want to do, you can comment, or you can ask me a question, how I did it, what I used, will be in the video. Just in case you have any other questions, hit me up. Again, make sure you subscribe, hit a like, leave a comment, leave a question, do whatever you like, man. But I hope you enjoyed, and there's more to come on part 2 and part 3 of this total room makeover. All right, guys, I'm out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hold on. All right, edit that. The actual tile that we're going to be installing. Now these are interlocking, we call them floating floors, or plank flooring. All right, they're vinyl engineered flooring.